Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. This is Charlotte Bergmann, your host for Political Talk with Charlotte. I'm going to start out talking about the Supreme Court and their oral argument. And what are you talking about, Charlotte? I'm talking about the case between the High Court, known as Watson versus the RNC, and it involves Mississippi's deadline for late arriving mail ballots and whether it's law that it conflicts with federal statutes that set election day as the Tuesday after the first Monday in November in certain years, especially for federal federal laws, federal elections. You know what's going to happen as a result of this ruling? And we don't know how the ruling is going to pan out. We really don't. The two people you really need to watch to determine whether America survives or not are Chief Justice John Roberts, same old people, and Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Will they do the right thing finally for the American people without compromising the Constitution as they have in the past? Now, the Republican National Committee is challenging the grace period for mail in ballots, and the Mississippi officials are defending the law that they have. Let's tune in and hear what they've got to say.
We have lots of phrases that involve two words, the second of which is day. Labor Day, Memorial Day, George Washington's birthday, Independence Day, birthday, and election day. And they're all particular days. So if we start with that, if I have nothing more to look at than the phrase election day, I think this is the day in which everything is going to.
You're listening to Justice Samuel Alito. He is a man of common sense, and he is a constitutionalist.
Take place, or almost everything. And then we have 3 points in time, 1844, 1872, 1914. And we can ask, what would people have thought on those days is meant by this phrase, election day? Which of those should we choose? Which of those dates should we choose?
Well, I think you could choose any of the three. I mean, honestly, I think the single best one, if you're just going to choose one, is 1872. And the reason I say that is because 1914 is the latest in time, but that's the one that Congress gave the least thought to.
Okay, guys, that was the attorney for that is the attorney for the RNC committee. That's the end of their statements concerning this, but this is just the beginning. There's going to be an explosion of discussions about this. Will we have an election that is full of integrity? Or will we have the fraud that we have been having these last few decades? What has been discussed is now something that we've kind of grown accustomed to and accepted, and we shouldn't. Election officials and globalists, puppets, are scrambling. But you know what, guys? If the justices do the right thing, it's going to be too late. The patriots have held the line, and the courts are finally listening. This is the most important election integrity decision in decades, and it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the good guys are winning. The deep state's grip on power is breaking. Freedom is rising. What am I talking about? I'm talking about mail-in ballots. I'm talking about you have an election day, one election day, but you've got people who have accepted the fact that if someone has a mail-in ballot that is postmarked for the day at least of the election, but it doesn't arrive until 4, 5, 6 days after the election, thus stopping the announcement of the winner, that this is normal. It is not normal, guys, and we shouldn't be accepting this. The Supreme Court is ready to ban mail-in ballots after Election Day. And guess who is panicking? You're right, Democrats. And you know what? If this passes, this is going to destroy the Democrat stronghold of our country. Does Election Day mean Election Day? Or does Election Day mean Election Day, but we have ballots that are still coming in that are going to change the outcome of the election? What do you think? Do you support that? The election day is the day set by law for the election of public officials in the United States. And it should occur on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November during even number years. It is a day when voters cast their ballots for various federal, state, and local elections. Now, this new election integrity bill, which is the Save American Act, that is one that has to be passed. And what the Supreme Court will do is pass a law that will reinforce what we need done through the Save American Act. The new election integrity bill, it doesn't just mandate citizenship and ID to vote. It makes sure that the states clean their rolls of illegals and the dead and those who do not vote, who do not take our elections seriously. They just sit out year after year, and then they sit back and then they complain and they want a change, but they never get up and go out and vote and make their voices change when they have an opportunity. Well, the Save American Act is going to penalize officials who register illegal voters. And guys, this is going to literally destroy the Democrat Party as we know it. Do you support this? Can I get a yay or can I get a no? Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as I said last week, Ronald Reagan, his 11th Amendment is thou shalt not speak ill of a fellow Republican. And this is not a personal statement, but I want to ask you guys to call Senator John Thune, who is the Senate Majority Leader. You can reach his Washington, D.C. office at 202-224-2321. Or if you still use toll free, you can call him at 866-850-3855. I think he needs some help. I think he needs some reminders that he works for us as Americans and not for special interest groups, because this is an issue that probably 80 to 90% of the people in the country want to see enacted. They want to see America saved, and they don't want elections that are stolen. You know, that Save America Act was cleared in the House back in February of 2026, the beginning of this year. It requires proof of U.S. citizenship like passports or birth certificates for federal voter registration and uses federal databases to remove non-citizens from rolls. Well, I heard John Thune state today that they have a proposal, a bill that they're going to put up to be voted on. What's the purpose? It's to require picture ID. Guys, it has been known throughout this country for years that illegals can get a picture ID, they can get a driver's license, and they can vote with that. We need strong proof of citizenship in order to protect our elections. We don't need mamby-pamby legislation that's not going to solve the problem. Americans, only Americans should vote in our election. It's time to end the Democrat Party because they've been cheating. It's time to end it with watermarked paper ballots, same-day voting, voter photo ID, proof of citizenship. That's what they don't want to deal with, proof of citizenship. In-person voting. And I will go so far as to say, I personally would love to see an end to early voting, an end to the machines, a one-day election, watermark paper ballots. That way, I think we will have a secure election. Now, my next topic I'm going to talk about, it's going to be about Iran. The media will have you to believe that there are no negotiations going on. There are negotiations that are about to go on, and Vice President Vance and various other officials are going to go to Pakistan, and they are going to discuss the negotiations and come up with an agreement to end the war. And I feel very strongly that it's going to happen. But I want to take you guys back to when Kamala Harris, as well as Joe Biden, stated what should be done in terms of Iran not getting a nuclear weapon. You all remember that? Do you all remember what they said? Let's see. Let's hear what Kamala had to say about it, as well as Joe Biden. And I know you guys have seen this video. Let's hear what President Trump has to say about it.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't. Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them.
Oops. Oops. And I think he's holding on to his promise. I think he is about to bomb the crap out of them. Iran has just been terrorists, and they've just been trying to destroy their communities and the communities of people in that surrounding area. And it affects us, definitely affects us. I'm trying to readjust my screen here. There I go. Go back to a full screen. I can. There I am. Hi, Charlotte. We're in the process of bombing Iran, clearing the Strait of Hormuz to allow for the tankers to come through. And I listened to the president's press conference, his roundtable discussion earlier. And I believe that there is going to be a discussion about ending the war. I really do. And one of the reasons I believe it is because, first of all, nobody knows who to actually negotiate with from Iran, because all of their leaders have been blown away. But there are some people who have authority in Iran that are going to be meeting with the president, J.D. Vance, various other people to discuss ending the war. And I really think it's going to happen. And then you're going to see the price of gas going back up. You just see going back down, and you will see more businesses being willing to relocate to the United States in order to provide jobs. You're going to see that happen. In the interim, I'm asking you, if you haven't already, go ahead and file your income. It's time to get some money in your pocket. It is definitely going to happen, and I'm excited about that. Iran may be forced to do the right thing, but they're going to do the right thing in the end, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I'm asking you to pray for our military. And many of them, as I watch some of the videos, they're prepared. They're anxious to get out there to defend our country. They, like myself, understand that in order for our families to be able to live in this country safely, they are going to have to fight. And some of them enjoy it. Some of them enjoy securing the homeland for the people. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about, this is going to be a short video, is Nicolas Maduro. You know, I'm talking about election integrity. One of the reasons that the discussion is coming out about election integrity is because Nicolas Maduro understands how the machines have been used to steal elections. Even he was not the president of Venezuela. He was de jure president. That means he really wasn't elected, but he was a dictator and he took over. He's scheduled to be in court today to appear for a court hearing. He's upset because they won't allow him to talk to his lawyer. Well, he's got serious legal fees that he needs to pay for. He do not have any money. So if he doesn't have money and he wants justice, I'd be singing like a bird. I really believe that's what's going to happen. And we're going to get to the truth of what happened in the 2020 election, what happened in several other elections. And it is time for us to take our country back. And I want to end this segment for you guys to hear this young lady, because I support what she believes in, simply because, as I shared with you guys before, I used to think that growing up, I used to think that the Democrat Party was the party that I needed to support, and I found out that it is not. And now I focus on values and principles and platforms. And this young lady, I found her video and I'm going to play it for you. You know, she feels the same way. I'm excited about that. So I want you guys to hear her testimony. Let me get this set up for you. I hope you guys are having a great day out there. I'm having a great day. I think in my community, I think summer's trying to inch in sooner rather than later. We have warm days, we have cooler days. Our warmer days are in the 70s and 80s, and our cooler days are like in the 60s. I'm content with this type of weather, and I will be happy for this type of weather to last for a long, long time. But let's hear what this young lady has to say.
When people ask me, hey, how are you, or why are you aligning with the right? I said, I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in the right to bear arms. I went as far as to say I promote school choice, which we know when it comes to political lines, it's the right who lines up more with school choice. I am against abortion. I do not think you have the right to annihilate babies in the womb up until 9 months. I do not think a man can become a woman. I don't think a woman can become a man. I don't think we should be pushing gender ideology on children. I think transgender is mental illness. These are the reasons I align with the right. because of my own self-interest. Ask me, or when people ask me, hey, how are you, or why are you aligning with the right?
I think she said it perfectly. I could not have said it better. I align with the right for those particular reasons myself. You've been listening to Charlotte Bergmann. My show is Political Talk with Charlotte. We air every Thursday at noon Central Time out of Memphis, Tennessee. I hope that you would support my channel by leaving your comments, your likes, your emojis. I want to thank you for joining me because I am a Mid-South host whose voice is that of a conservative person, conservative Christian with constitutional values. And I hope that you can relate to what I share today about the issues of importance, about election integrity, about what the Supreme Court is going to do to help to make sure that our elections are secure. We don't have secure elections, the voice of the people are not heard, and our country can be destroyed by people who don't appreciate this country like we do. The Supreme Court, I'm depending on you guys. I'm depending on you guys to do the right thing. I'm depending on Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who do vote alike, who do vote in pairs. I'm depending upon them to do the right thing. I'm depending on you guys to call John Thune to say, to have him to stop playing around and to get the Save American Act passed. And I don't believe him when he says he doesn't have enough people. He does. He has 50 votes. And then the Vice President, J.D. Vance, will come in and be the tiebreaker. I want them to stay on the job, even during the Easter holidays, to get the work of the people's work done. I want to reiterate, call Senator John Thune, please. You can reach his Washington, D.C. office at 202-224-2321. I want to thank you guys. And this upcoming Sunday, we will be celebrating Palm Sunday. I hope you will be praying for our nation. And I hope you will understand what Palm Sunday is all about. It actually is. It occurs the week before. Hi, Patrick. Thank you for joining me. It actually occurs the week before Easter, when we commemorate the life, death, and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. We live in a great country, and I hope you guys appreciate it. Patrick, I'm so glad you joined me today. I want to say that we're getting into the local election season. Our municipal elections are about to occur next month, actually. And from next week until then, I'm going to try to interview candidates that are running. I saw on Facebook where someone was upset because there was a sheriff forum. But guys, that sheriff forum was sponsored by the Democrat Party. We have two parties in this county. We have a Democrat Party and we have a Republican Party. If the Democrats can put on a forum for their sheriff candidates, it is incumbent upon us as Republicans to put on a forum for our sheriff candidates. Well, next week, I will be interviewing on my show both candidates that are running for sheriff on the Republican ticket. And after that, I will be interviewing other candidates. You deserve to know people who share your values. You deserve to know people who are not running on the blue platform. They're running on the red platform. And they're running on values that many of you share, many values who will make this community great, and not values that would lead to fraud and cause the people to not really live the best life. If you look up in the upper corner, there we go, upper corner, there I go. There is a scan me. I'm running for United States Congress. I need your support. I need your vote. I need you to knock on your neighbor's door and ask them to vote for Charlotte Bergman. And I need you to scan that little icon on my page and make a donation. Just scan it. Just scan it. Make a donation. Send me to Washington, D.C. to make sure that things work the way they should. I will tell you my story of how I got started traveling to Washington, D.C. I sat down with a editor-in-chief, and she pulled some information out of me that I had forgotten, but I actually started as an activist for jobs. And I will continue to be an activist for jobs so long as you allow me. So thank you for joining me today. You guys have a blessed week. I appreciate you. I appreciate you allowing me to come before you, share my video, leave me an emoji, leave me a comment, just do something to help with the circulation, to help my video get into the hands of so many people who need to hear my story, to need to hear what's going on. So next week, we have the two Republican candidates, Brad Les, and we have Marco Izakara. Okay? God bless you. I will talk to you all next week. Have a blessed Sunday. And please remember me in your prayers. Thank you. Bye.